M2 money supply continues to go up, and you can see Bitcoin traditionally follows the money. When there is a lot of money flowing around, it generally helps all assets, and it helps Bitcoin a lot, right? And the money is increasing. Liquidity injections everywhere around the world, not just in the US, happening in China, happening in Europe, happening in Australia, happening everywhere. So it's just a matter of time. And look at this. This is when Bitcoin was still at 63,000. We're no longer at 63,000. We're hovering around that 70,000 mark. So it's starting to catch up already. Pretty soon we're going to be at the 80,000 mark. And pretty soon we're going to be at 90,000 mark. We're already starting to catch up. According to Polymarket, what price will Bitcoin hit in October? Well, if you were betting on this, more than 50%, 60% is saying that we will hit 70,000 by the end of this month. And you could buy that for 61 cents. Hey, that's a pretty good deal. Yeah, I would take that bet. 70,000, considering we're at 67 now, we hit 68,000 yesterday. I would bet within the next 12 days, 13 days, we're going to hit 70,000. That's an easy bet. Easy bet. I would go a bit further and say that we are going to hit 80,000. That's an off chance, but I still think that's in play. But what about breaking all-time high? According to Polymarket, there's a 69% chance we will hit an all-time high in 2024. That's so low, considering we're only 10% away from all-time high. That's such a low chance. I would figure the yes being at 90+%. So this shows you how many bearish people there are. I can't believe we're like 10% away and only 69%, not even 70% of people out there think we're going to hit all-time high. It should be at like 90 plus, 95% plus should think so. It's staggering to think that 30% of the crypto people out there thinks that we're not going to hit all-time high before the end of this year. That shows you how many people that are still bearish at this point. But not me. I know we will. And I know we will end up a lot higher than 73,000. I think we will end up in six figures before the end of the year. I do honestly believe that. And again, like I said, I think in people's minds, they think we're still like so far off, like we're somehow like in our 40s or 30s or something like that. No, we're 10% away from all-time high. 10%, not like 50%, not like 80% from all-time high. We're 10% away. 10% away from all-time high. That's what people don't understand. Now, I know some people are saying, well, George, like alts are not 10%. Yeah, I know that. But as long as Bitcoin is leading the way, you have no fear. As long as Bitcoin leads the way and leads us to the promised land, alts will follow, and we will get altcoin season. So all you have to worry about is Bitcoin. Bitcoin will lead us to the promised land. All right, that's what you need to worry about, right? As long as Bitcoin shatters through its previous high and continues to go into six figures and ends up where we all think it will, 150, 200, 250, $300,000, man, the alts are going to be sky high. No doubt about it, right? So don't be so bearish, guys. Jelly thinks that we're in this megaphone pattern, a bullish megaphone pattern. And you know what? This is showing that we will be going to $180,000. That's actually pretty conservative compared to some of the estimates out there. Like this one that is predicting that we will hit $260,000. And then afterwards, $800,000. And afterwards, 1.9 million. I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense. 260,000, I think, is definitely within range. After this one, 800,000, that makes sense. That's not even $1 million. That's a little bit less than 4x. I mean, you have diminishing returns, obviously, right? So it kind of makes sense. Think about it. And this 1.9 million prediction, that's like 2034. That's only 10 years from now. It seems like that's so far out, but 10 years, that's like a blink of an eye. That's not that far out. So think about it. If you simply buy and hold Bitcoin, and you hold it for 10 years, each one could be worth $2 million. So Mags sums it up quite nicely. After you have a halving event, you basically have 500 days of upward movement. Okay, sometimes you go sideways for a little bit, but overall, you have 500 days of goodness. And that's when you usually then have 500 days of badness, okay? So, you know, since our halving event, you could argue we've been having going down or sideways movement, and we still have a lot of days to go before the top. And it's anticipated the top will be somewhere around $200-something thousand, right? And then you could argue from that top, we'll have 500 days before we hit our next bottom. But, you know, here's the thing. Here's my new thesis. I don't think we will be going down 80% like all previous cycles before. The first cycle, we went down like 88%. Second cycle, we went down 85%. The last cycle, we went down about approximately 77%. So it's been getting lower. But this next cycle down, I don't believe will be anywhere close. I think we could go down maybe like 50%, 40%. Because I just don't see the institutions that are now holding so much of these ETF shares and the institutions that are just holding Bitcoin. I just don't see them all say, okay, we're in 2025, December 2025, let's just all sell it because Bitcoin is going to go down. I just don't see it. I don't see them doing that. They're going to be holding because they believe in Bitcoin. That's the reason why they bought Bitcoin in the first place. So, you know, the cycle moving forward from here on out could be very different than before. I mean, I just think it's going to be different. I don't think we're going to see the same 80% drop from our top, wherever that may be, going forward. I'm theorizing. I could be wrong, and we still do an 80% drop from the top, but still, I just don't see it now that we have institutions holding large amounts of Bitcoin and huge percentages of the overall circuit supply. Yeah, I just don't see it. But anyways, what this is showing is we have a full year, almost more than a year. Yeah, more than a year before we get to that top.